KILR KILR Games.
Hello gamers and simmers and pilots, I am the KILR Gamer and welcome to the World Tour featuring the Commodore 64 Flight Simulator 2 by SubLogic. And we are here at Joliet, Joliet Park District to be more specific. And we are going to go to Greater Kankakee. And I'll tell you a little story about Greater Kankakee. When I played Flight Simulator 2 when I was a little youngster, before we had the scenery discs, I would fly from Chicago Meigs, Merle C. Meigs, all the way down to the airport, as far, all the way down to the bottom, but I would make a halfway stop at Greater Kankakee and stop at Chicago or Champaign, Williard, and then on the way back again. So, just to show you, here is the Chicago map. Try to zoom out a little bit here. So, as you can see, here is Chicago Meigs. Sometimes I would stop at Chicago O'Hare, but I would, here is right down here is the University of Illinois Williard, Champaign, and right in the middle, Greater Kankakee. So I would stop off halfway and then fly all the rest of the way. And there's a river over here too, so it was little something scenic. That would give me an idea when I was getting close. When I see the river, I was like, oh, okay, I know the airport's coming up. Oh, actually, it was up here. So I always saw it as a dividing line. I was like, okay, the airport's north of here, and the airport's south of here. And so we've hit a few airports up here, and so now we're going to go from Joliet Park to Greater Kankakee. And that's what we're going to do. Just kind of zoom back in here. So how are we going to do that? Well, I figure if we take our Joliet nav VOR here and set this at a 15 is going to take us this way. I'd say a 14. Yeah, 14. 140 should take us this direction. And if we take Payotone, there is a VOR here at Kankakee. Well, I think we should at least, because we don't know if we're going to get this right away. So we should at least tune this in, so that way we can depart. So I would say take the 140, and then we'll just tune this in and just head in the direction that we're supposed to go. I'm not sure which runway. Control tower is 123.0. We'll try to find out what runway it is, and the VOR should be centered right on it, and we can whoops. Wow, where do we go? We can go from there. All right. In the meantime, I got something in the mail. I haven't done any videos on it yet, but I think I will and that is Flight Simulator for Windows 95. Now, the reason why I say I think I will is that this is... Oh, what is it? I think they consider it Flight Simulator 6. And Windows 98 is like, what, 6.2 or something? But this is essentially the same as 5.1, but it's got a few other things with it. So that's why I'm not sure if I want to do this, because it may look just about the same as 5.1. So I'd hate to kind of repeat everything with it, but I'll take a look and see. If anything, it's just going to be part of my collection. I'd hate to be kind of redundant and, you know, making a copy, you know, like the same exact video when it's just, you know, the same graphics. But anyway, I thought I'd show that to you. You guys are like, so what, man? This is about the Commodore 64. It's not about Windows. Windows blows. All right, anyway. Commodore 64 forever. Commodore 660 forever. Let's go ahead and get everything set here. We'll get our nav radio set to 112.3, which already is. So set our VOR for 140. This will be our departure radial. Oh, no. Okay. We want nav2 to be that. Sorry. Because I want the DME for nav1. And we'll set nav1 to Greater Kankakee, which is 111.60. Whoops. Well, if I can set it. Come on. There it goes. Okay. So we are not... we're too far away to catch it. So that's good. That's why we want to... well, that's why we want to fix nav2. Because it's not tuned in. Now it is. That's why we want to catch this radio, so that way we're at least going in the right direction until this comes into play, and then we'll tune this in so we start heading in the direction of the airport. And then we'll get this comm radio. Might as well get this tuned in now, because as soon as we get within range, it will... it will give us our message. Oh, it is right now. Runway 4. Then we will set this to 040. All right, that should get us set up. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy started. Travel to our runway here, which all we can see are the center lines. And these days you had to pretend that there was a taxiway. Your runway was the taxiway. Just a line out of nowhere. Okay, we gotta get our gyro compass. Or is it a gyro compass? Altimeter adjusted. It's time. Time to get going. Flaps. Get those up. Get them retracted, I should say. You can see the runway here. See how it's kind of black here on the horizon? That's the runway. And I think we are taking off. Alright, time to catch that 140 wave. Gotta wave at it. We gotta say, hey! Joliet, 140, we're looking for ya. You know, after all these years of the times where I've flown from Meads to Kankakee to Champaign with the 64, and in some cases with the other simulators, at least like 5.1 or 98 to start off with. I've never done it with FSX. I've never done it with X-Plane. And since on those simulators I'm going to be matching what we're doing on the Commodore 64, I can't wait to see what it looks like. Especially with X-Plane, with the ortho photos, to actually see, to really see what it would actually kind of look like. At the map, we still have a little bit before we catch that radial. 3,000 feet. And I'm still getting messages. What in the world is that? Here we go. Our stopwatch, like I like to call it, because it looks like a stopwatch, the shape of it, or just a wristwatch. It's beginning to move. Now, if you remember, we have a cloud layer, so that's why it's all black. That's why we can't see anything. But I hate for it to look boring, so I'm going to see if we can't bring our altitude down so that way we can see some scenery, which would just be lines. And our gyro compass has drifted off course again. It is currently 21 o'clock, 2100, 21 o'clock, which is 9:04. Yup. Sound like Al from Happy Days. Yep. Ron Howard, back when he was acting. Dates back as far as Andy Griffith, the Andy Griffith Show, when he was Ronnie Howard. He was little Odie. Or was it Odie or Opus? It was Opus, I think. He's a little kid. He was a little redhead kid. Of course, it was black and white, so you really couldn't tell that he was redhead. If you haven't watched the old TV shows, you should. Quality of them is much better than what you find on TV nowadays. There's a few exceptions, of course. Most of the stuff on TV nowadays just crap, garbage, no talent whatsoever. It takes itself way too seriously. And they're mean and cruel and sounds like my engine's about to idle. Well, that's okay though. This is the kind of speed that we want to go at. The other ones, my goodness, I was like, the speed was all out of control and stuff. That's a good way to crash because you can't control yourself. Double checking my radios, make sure that I have everything set up that I want to have it set up at, and I do. So at this point, I've said this in another episode, trust your radios. We can't see anything, so we are definitely IFR. I mean, this flight simulator is IFR for the most part. Whoa. Well, that just threw us off there for a moment. Something loaded. Let's get back on track here. We're still kind of close, kind of close. I'm gonna guess if the disk drive loaded something, that there's something out there, like it's a line. It loaded a line. Could be like a road or a river or something. Meanwhile, we're patiently waiting until we're out of the clouds. With as dark as this is, it might as well be a storm cloud. I tell you what, this gyro compass drift, it's no joke. That thing really drifts. They were limited by the technology, you know. There's only so much they could really do. It's hard to make this simulator what? As real as it gets. Well, at least back in 1995, it was as real as it gets. Nowadays, in 2018, it's pretty darn impressive, I'll tell you that. Okay, so just to kind of keep you updated on what we're doing here, we are trying to keep our needle centered here the best that we can. We're trying to keep this in sync with our magnetic compass. We can't see anything because we're in the clouds, so we should break the cloud lever just under 2000s. We're keeping this nice and level. As soon as we break our 2000s, I'd say maybe around 1900. There we go. We got an airport right over there. That is probably Kankakee. As a matter of fact, I don't think we have DME with Kankakee. Because Kankakee is another one of those airports that has taxiways. Alright. Sometimes this won't tune in unless you change this and change it back. So let's do that. Well, that didn't work. We are tuned into the right radio. Okay, I'm going to change our VOR to this here. Oh, 040. We don't want 040 for this. That might be part of the problem. Let's try... I don't know, let's try changing this and see what... Ah! Well, that's okay. I do want to change this a little bit. I'm pretty sure that's the airport. So, we're going to head towards it. Because I know the airport's got a taxiway, and I know there's nothing else out here that does. And I believe this is supposed to be, this here is supposed to be the city of Kankakee. You're like, what happened to it? It disappeared. It's because of the clouds. Remember, it's the clouds. It's still not tuning. What? Is it broke? See, I'm moving this around and it's not changing anything. Are we still that far away? We can't be that far away. Okay, so this is how we're going to find out where we're at. We're going to tune into Chicago Heights. And we're going to tune it in into that needle centers and find out what radial it would take to get there and then backtrack it. And that should tell us our intersection if we come back here. So man, it looks like we're awfully close. I think we're a lot close. I don't think that VOR works. Hold on. I'm going to use the map. Yeah. No, we don't need to use that because and we're even almost lined up too. All right, flaps. And that line right there is the river, because it would be lit up, you know. Kankakee is at 625 altitude. And we better get our altitude down, like, seriously. Some fine-tuned adjustments with the keyboard. Just trying to do that with a joystick? Not with this version of Flight Simulator. I was never able to do it. Fix our trim, otherwise we're going to stall. There's the runway. Come on. Come on. Okay, we're going to try this again. Frustrating. Get back on course. And not on the runway. It is very hard to line up with the runway on this. Because when you think you got lined up and then it shifts over. Of course, there is wind happening too, and that is probably part of the reason. It doesn't make it easy. Okay, our fuel is part of the way down. Let's go ahead and fuel up. Pretty much if we just go to the end here and make a right, we should see the fuel box off in this direction over here. Like, what am I doing here? Let's fix our trim and stuff so that doesn't happen again. That's one of those accidental touch and goes. And there we go, right off the taxiway. Runway there. Did you notice though that the runway that we had did not have a center line? So it's like I was saying, not all runways have a center line, at least with these particular airports that have the taxiways. And so during the daytime, when it's all lined out in white and you can't tell which one's a runway, it's really hard. Now, why they didn't fill in the runways in black, I don't know. It was definitely an oversight. Where's the fuel box? Was it way over here? No. We went all this way. Where's the fuel box? Are we at the right airport? We gotta be at the right airport. I know this is it. It's got a fuel box here. Maybe we'll be without a fuel box this time. I don't know. Maybe we're not zoomed in far enough. This used to be how I played. I was like going around and like Okay, where's that fuel box? I know that fuel box is in here somewhere. How do I know? Well, because if I go here and go over here, I know that Kankakee right there. It's got a star and it says fuel F. So I know that. What I do? I unclicked it. Didn't mean to do that. So right here, there's a star. Right? Gregor Kankakee. Fuel box. That's how I know. Maybe it's in the center. Maybe it's in the center of the airport. Or the aerodrome. I'm zooming in way too much. This one area was like the perfect place to put a fuel box. So, where is it? This is where I'm going to drive. Let's see. We'll just kind of drive out here in the middle. Alright, there's a taxiway over there. We got two runways that meet. Well, I don't see a fuel box over here either. Alright, we will double check, make sure we're at the right coordinates. 16846, 16597. One 16849. That's close. 165. We're here. This is the airport, just like I thought. Yeah, I just kind of moved us here. All right. Well, when you go to edit and come out, it fills up. So a tanker came over here and filled us up. They felt sorry for us. Oh, you can't find the fuel box, so we'll just come over here and fill you up. All right. Well, we're here at Greater Kankakee. Thanks for joining me on this flight. And next time, where are we going to go next time? I don't know. Let's find out. Oh, I had thought about going to Sanger, but nah. Let's see. Well, oh my goodness, I'm just going all over the place here. Okay, so Greater Kankakee. Oh, Bloomington. I think that is what I put on my list. Yes. Bloomington Normal. This is our next spot. This is going to be a little bit of a flight. We're going to have a little bit length of a flight on this one. Why is our VOR radio not working here? I don't know. That is a good question. It should be, but it's not. And I don't know why. It's broke. They broke it. So we're going to have to use something else here. We'll probably have to use Payotone. We'll use Payotone give us a, because this is going to be way too far to tune into, so we'll use pay a tone, and we'll ride that wave until we can catch the wave here, and bring us the rest of the way. Ah, yes. Good old times of trying to navigate in this thing. All right, well, thanks for tuning in, and be sure to see these the same flight in the other flight simulators, because they don't have as many lines as this one do. They have textures in them, so it looks a little better. Alrighty, thanks, and I will see you next time. If you enjoyed this flight and trip back in time, then you might enjoy some of these other videos I made of the same flight. This is just a small sample of the other simulators I'm also using for the World Tour, so you can check out how things compare there if you'd like. Or perhaps you have fond memories of one of them and just want to see more. There will be more flights, so remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around in the skies.